Very good afternoon. Welcome to Les Sables d'Olonne on the west coast of France. A beautiful afternoon here this Thursday. It's day 38 on the race course and the leaders came into the Pacific last night. It should be a smoother ride in the Pacific Ocean, but last night a drama for Thomas Rion, who thought history was repeating himself. Remember that a year ago, almost to the day and almost to the same spot, he nearly lost his boat. But last night he had water coming into the front of the boat and he had to stop and pump out for a matter of hours, but now it's all good. He's back up to speed and doing about 20 knots. Meantime, Yannick Bestaven leads for that's fully 24 hours, and towards the back of the fleet, well, Sébastien Destremo has been making some repairs, and he is manoeuvring. He's doing 2 or 3 knots just now. Guests today are Kevin Escoffier on the plateau with me. We spoke with last time we spoke, Kevin, was a while ago, and you just spent 11 and a half hours on a life raft. So welcome. But let's look first of all at the classements, at the standings at midday. And at the top of the table, as I said, Yannick Bestaven is leading. He's been leading for fully 24 hours now. He's 92.7 miles ahead of Thomas Rion, who's in second. Charlie Dallin is now about 30 miles behind Thomas Rion in third. Jean Le Cam's in fourth, 481.3 miles behind the leader. And he's 16 miles ahead of Boris Herrmann, the German skipper, who's up to fifth. And about the same speed as Le Cam. Damian Sagan in sixth, Benjamin Dutroux in seventh, and Louis Burton in eighth. All that group still very close together. Isabel Josk a little bit further behind in ninth, and Italian skipper Giancarlo Pedotti in 10th. Further down the table in 15th, Alan Rura, a little bit slowed with some light winds just now. He's doing 8 knots. Then Pip Pear and Didac Costa still in that match race. England versus Spain, or indeed Britain versus Catalonia, depending how you want to look at things. But Pip is still ahead of Didac. And then further down the table, we see Kojiro Shiraishi in 22nd, doing 12 knots. Miranda Merrin doing 7 knots in 23rd. She's still just a little bit ahead now of Alexia Barrier on TSIE My Planet. And Ari Husela is now ahead of Sébastien Destremo. As I said, Seb has had some problems since yesterday, but he has largely, I think he's managed to find a solution. He's doing about 4 knots. So Kevin Escoffier, welcome back to Les Sables d'Olonne. How does it feel to be back in Les Sables?
I would have liked to come back here with my boat, but that's life. I came here to see my sponsor, PRB, and also to discuss with the organization of the Vendée Globe, to thank them for what they've done to help Jean Le Cam to save me.
And what's been the response like since you've come back here?
But I just arrived a few hours ago, but I think it's very nice to be able to discuss with all people that have been involved in this accident. So again, I'll come back also for the finish of the other boats, and especially Jean Le Cam. Indeed.
What was it like on board with Jean over that period?
Pretty nice. I think we've been perfect roommates, and he has a very nice boat, a fast one. He's been working on his boat all the winter. I knew that because we are the same place in Port-la-Forêt, and he deserves where he is right now. It's a very nice position, and I think he will be pushing hard to stay there. But for me, it was also a very good thing to be with Jean, and because he has lost
experience.
three boats as well. So when you discuss with him, and when you've got a few doubts on how you managed the situation, he just told me, you know, you were the only one to be there to be able to do it. So you're safe. So you managed it well, and it happens to everybody to lose a boat. So I'm not looking forward to lose another one. But in my head, it was very nice to spend 5 days with him. It helped me to recover from the loss of my boat.
And what did he say about losing the boat? Because obviously he lost his boat in 2008. What was the kind of process that you went through?
I think it's much easier for us when you're in a situation where you need to do something to be saved.
Yeah.
And you need to be optimistic. And I've been discussing with Jean, and when he was looking for me all the night long, it was very hard for him. And he told me that when it was the opposite in 2008, when Vincent came and saved him, he told me that he never doubted when he was inside his hull. And I think it was quite the same thing for me. I never doubted that I will be saved. And it's more for the people that are around with no news and spectator that it's much more complicated.
It does indeed, but I mean 11 and a half hours in the life raft and you were always positive then?
Yes, you always.
Or do you
you're
just
always
keep yourself positive?
You're always looking at the hypothesis that it may become much more complicated than what it is. But I think when you're looking forward to something, when you're looking at something and you say, okay, I may capsize with my life raft, what do? You put the floating anchor, you sleep on the good side of the life raft in order to avoid him to capsize. When you think that you may have body temperature getting down, what do? You bail the life raft in order to be as dry as possible. So I think that you may think it could happen, but as soon as you do something not to let the worst happen, you keep everything
positive
in your hand and you stay positive. I think as soon as you think that it's finished and it's down, you won't bail anymore, you won't sleep anymore on the good side, and then the worst arrived.
Tell us about coming off the boat, because I believe you had 4 minutes.
Coming off the boat from
when you had to abandon the boat, yes.
Yeah, it was very quick. Well, maybe not 4 minutes in my head. It's so complicated. The only thing I've got right now is I know approximately on average how long it is to put a survival suit, and I know that I send the text to my shore team at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and 46 minutes, and they respond to me at 47 minutes, 1 minute, and I know that I never received this text, and they have never seen that it was gone on the boat. So it means that in 1 minute, I had only the time to go inside the boat, to put my survival suit in the cockpit, to send the text, and 1 minute later, the water was so high that all on board was shutting down. So it has been, maybe even if it's 10 minutes, it's still too short.
Absolutely. And your life raft, did it inflate itself, or did you inflate it? Or?
I inflated.
Right.
Because when I get it, it was already under the water level of the cockpit, because it was laying on the floor of the cockpit, and then I grab it in order to put it on the deck, and that's why I had a wave washing off the life raft on me just out of the boat, and I pulled on the rock.
Kevin, 1 second. We're going to join Marcus Hutchinson, who I think had his own dramas last night with Thomas Riong. Marcus.
Hi, Andy. Hi, Kevin.
Hi.
Yeah. No, it's. I think it's really valuable getting the debriefs like this from you. And I know there's a small community. We share everything when it comes to security and what the feedback from different people's experiences. As someone who doesn't sail anymore but is involved with these teams, I relish getting all of this information. And we made a lot of modifications to our safety installation after the last debrief, which was from Louis Duc with his class 40 last winter. And I'm looking forward to reading your rapport de mer and all the recommendations that you give us. And we have one as well as of last night. As most of you will now be aware, Thomas flooded the front of his boat last night. And obviously we were extremely concerned because it was an awful lot of water in the boat. And but it turns out now we're pretty confident that there's absolutely nothing wrong with the boat except a couple of clips on the forehatch, which wasn't closing properly. So we want to pass that message across to everybody to check the clips, the fastening mechanism to keep the forehatch closed, because it didn't take very long for the bow of the boat to flood. He was going very fast, and the boat flooded through the hatch.
Kevin, what was your kind of initial feedback? Because you advised that they changed the plombage, the sealing of safety equipment, didn't you?
Yes, and I think that 2 days after being on Yes We Can, I've seen a mail from the organization saying that people were allowed to take off the seals in order.
Because the safety equipment is sealed so that you can't use it as.
Yes. In my case, there is two things. The safety equipments we are laying on the floor, on the bottom of the hull, and I think it should be in the middle of the hull. In order, so if you capsized due to you lose your bulb, so like Jean in 2008, you may grab it, but putting it up too high or too low, I think it's not very good.
You have to be able to grab it.
In the middle, exactly. And then, due to the seals, we don't want to break the seal, because if you break it, you've got a penalty. So what we do is we put some tape on it, we put some lashings, and as soon as you need to cut everything, and you've got me, in my case, it was already under the water with a knife. It's not that easy,
no.
And it was taking me way too much time, and I prefer to go to get my life raft safely, instead of staying in the boat and the water was still coming up.
And to be clear, the only EPIRB you had was your personal AIS?
No, I took the EPIRB of the boat, and my personal recon was a AIS one.
Right. Okay.
No, but there is still don't worry, Marcus. I'll do a very nice one in French and English, and I'll send you a personal copy.
I'm looking forward to it.
Marcus, do you have any other questions for Kevin?
Well, I mean, other than the obvious that everybody is asking him, I'm curious to know about about what's going to happen next. And for Kevin and PRB, we're really looking forward to him getting back on the water, either with a new boat or with somebody else, certainly for 2021. And I know he's got plans, and we're looking forward to seeing him back out there again. But I doubt he'll be able to tell us much about that just yet.
But I'm in Vendée, so PRB is very close to Les Sables, and I've got a meeting with Jean-Jacques Laurent tomorrow morning in order to see what we'll do for the future. But I'm pretty confident that I've been reading an article where Jean-Jacques Laurent was saying that I'll be on the Vendée 2024. So I don't know if he was saying that with somebody else or with him, but if he's confident, I am confident as well.
That's the media for you, Kevin, isn't it?
Exactly.
But that's cool. But you don't feel any after effects? You don't feel like you don't want to go back?
No. It's the opposite. For me, I can't.
You can't wait to get on to the story.
It was the beginning of a single-handed story for me, and I think it was. Well, I've been happy doing it for 1 month. I was third, so it was not, if I still want to progress, to push hard, and I don't want to stay on something like that. So I'll be there. I don't know if it will be my boat into 2021, but for sure I would like to be on the Route du Rhum 2022 and on the Vendée Globe 2024.
Well, that's good news. What was the first thing you did when you got home?
I've been home for 1 day. I've been with Jean. I've been with the Navy, the French Navy, for 5 days. Then in La Réunion, I've been working a bit with PRB as well.
Yeah.
Then Paris for 2 days, and I've been yesterday home, and I've been to the school of my daughter.
Nice.
I think the best thing is to go back to real life. So you go to school with your daughter, and you walk home.
Good. We'll come back to you in a second. So, Marcus, tell us your thoughts of the front of this race then at the moment. It's really incredible, isn't it?
It's fantastic. It's fantastic. I mean, we cannot be better served in terms of a sporting story of all of these changes going on all of the time. We had a little joke internally when Charlie damaged his foil thing. We just said, what a gentleman to wait for Thomas. That's fantastic. And we hope he's back in the race, which clearly he is. And now we've got a situation where Thomas had another problem, and the two of them are quite close to each other, very close to each other, in fact. And Yannick's raced off with a 100-mile lead. And so it's marvelous. It's just, there's so much sport going on, and there's so many, and we're only halfway through this. So, the front of the fleet is a great place, and the second group as well is fantastic. I think the strongest memory or the strongest thing I have in my mind of this Vendée Globe so far is those photographs and the video of all of those 5 boats together just around the northeast corner of the ice gate. I mean, it's just phenomenal. We're so fortunate to have this race. Some people are unhappy because it's not behaving the way it should, and we'd all like the results to be different to what they are, but I don't think we're we're suffering from not having an interesting sports story, that's for sure.
Absolutely, and just at the right time. And how is Thomas at the moment then? He's on good form.
He is. He's reared up, certainly after last night, because the boat was going really well. He went to sleep and woke up and the bow was full of water. So he's obviously super frustrated about that. I know he's preparing a big video to explain exactly what happened, but he's motivated as hell. He really wants to get back into this, and I think you're going to see him. You know, he's had a few bangs and bashes over the last few weeks with his boat, but you know, he's still there. He's still in the game, and he realizes that, and he knows that everybody else has it. I'd say that perhaps Thomas is a little bit more transparent with all of the issues that happens on his boat, and it's not that he's complaining, but he shares everything that goes on his boat, and that's quite nice to see. But no, he's in good shape, and you know, obviously a bit tired after bailing the boat out, but motivated as hell to really keep it going.
Good, Marcus. Thank you. 1 second, we'll come back to you. Question from the internet. This is our second internet question, because you did actually answer the first one. But did you ever prepare for your evacuation, or for an evacuation like that in your sailing career before?
Because all the safety courses we do, we always say that we have to stay the longest possible on the boat, because an IMOCA shouldn't be able to sink. Sorry. And I think we are not prepared for something that going that fast. Again, it was a matter of 5-10 minutes, not more than that, to be able to decide. Usually, when you are on an it's staying up very, very long before the boat to have the deck at the level of the water. So, and you know, my work was to be engineer, to design boats, and I've been imagining a lot of issue on my boat, to be able to decide what I take in spare, to decide the reinforcements I have to do on the boat.
And
but I would have never think that I would have been into.
But you had reinforced it, I think, hadn't you, over the previous period?
On the 2 years I had this project, we've been reinforcing the hull, we've been reinforcing the back of the boat, even the deck forward. Again, we will have to work, and I think that in a few weeks we'll have to work with designers and architects to
have some feedback.
To be able to, even if I'm pretty sure that we won't be able to know exactly at 100%, because the boat is lost, and we have with the boat we have lost all the data that could help to understand that. But I think we will be able to have 3 or 4 solutions, and to work on that also for the future of the other boats.
Meantime, do you stay connected with the race? Do you watch the classements and everything all the time?
Yes, no, all the time. Maybe not all the time, because sometimes it's a bit painful for me. But I think it's also you can learn a lot from that. And since I want to be on the Vendée Globe 2024, I think it's very important to learn from what the foilers are doing on this race, and also to work on the weather forecast.
So what are we learning from the foilers at the moment?
We learned that we still have to work on the foilers to have high speed and average high speed for single-handed. I think the future, the present and the future is still to have foilers, but I think we still have to work on a foiler configuration where we'll be able to do very high speed on average, and not only on 2 hours.
I mean, Yannick Bestaven's the object lesson at the moment, isn't he?
Yes, it's a foiler as well.
Yeah.
But it's 2016 foils, a bit smaller, with a boat that is reliable, because he has been sailing for 4 years. So we can see that, again, for the Vendée Globe, reliability is very important. And also that maybe smaller foils allow the skipper to do better average speed in single-handed.
Interesting. Come back to you in 1 minute. We're going to have a quick run through the weather for the fleet as of this morning, and this is our weather report. So looking at the first chart today, well, this is a scat chart showing the cloud formations over the, just in particular to show the low pressure systems, and one up here which is going to pass in front of the leaders here. So here we see Yannick Bestaven on the Maitre Coq, Charlie Dallin and Thomas Rion. This system is just passing in front of them, so there's no big problem for them initially, and certainly then they're just ahead of the front which you see the group behind are riding. They really have the best conditions, and we may see a little bit of compression over the next 48 hours or so. These guys are on the front of the front, northwesterly wind, and the key thing for them, flatter water, really ideal conditions to go fast. Then looking a little bit further back in the fleet, you see here Pure Roman Atanasio and indeed Claris Kramer still side by side. They're in between the two systems, quite not too difficult conditions, but a little bit of cross seas and for them just now at the back of this front. La Fabrique, Alan Rura, very much out on his own, and again in between the two systems. Then this next front, which we see here, if I can just move this towards me without making a mess of it. This big front here, this is really in an ideal position just now for Pip Hare and Didac Costa and Manukuzan, this little trio here. Again, key positioning for them on the front of the front in the northwesterly breeze, chance to go fast and build some miles, and maybe even Pip Hare catching some miles back on Alan Rura, who of course used to have her Super Bigu on the last race. And then further behind this group, at the back, well, they're waiting for this next front to arrive, and they're kind of in between the two systems. Again, there'll be a chance for them to catch miles, to go fast in the next 24 hours as that front catches up for them. So that's the general situation, a slightly different view, getting more of a view of the cloud cover and the systems. And then hopefully I'll get over here just in time to hold on to this animation. Now this again is the leaders. Looking at them just now over here. Yannick Bestaven, Thomas Riong and Charlie Dallin still running the exclusion zone in the northwesterly breeze and going quite fast. And as I say, this front here now, we're just watching that. This is today at 6 o'clock tonight. And we'll just see that progressively they get into lighter airs into the high pressure system at Macquarie Island there. So a couple of jibes, and these guys here doing slightly better on the front now, and they'll be able to go fast along the exclusion zone, and we'll see maybe perhaps a little bit of a catch up for the boats behind. So this is rolling through into Sunday, and there you go. So pretty good conditions for the leaders over the next few days, certainly into the weekend. So Marcus, we're into the Pacific. Conditions should improve a little bit.
Yeah, improve. It's called the Pacific for a reason, but improve is always a relative term in these situations. I think you quite often get lulled into a false sense of security for the first part of the Pacific, and then bang, you get a massive low pressure as you start to approach Cape Horn and have to position yourself correctly to get down really, really deep south to get around the bottom of South America. And it's often a very tricky place. I personally haven't had the pleasure or the honor to sail down there, but I know that Kevin has, and he'd be better placed than me. But yeah, we shouldn't be lulled into a false sense of security about the Pacific. Yeah,
Kevin, tell us a little bit about the Pacific. You know, it should be a little bit easier, but you never really know.
No, the sea state usually it's a bit more of more period, so the waves are a bit can be a bit bigger, but usually it's smoother than what we've had on the start of the Indian, I think. And was the 5 days I've done with Jean, the sea state was also quite bad. After that, you may have strong winds also in Pacific.
John can tell you about storms in the Pacific from the last race.
Yes, but no, I think the main things for these boats is the sea state more than the wind, and I think that I'm quite sure the Pacific will be for them a better sea state than what they had in the Indian.
1 second, we're just going to have a quick look at Damian Sagan, who's going extremely well. He's becoming one of the stars of this Vendée Globe for sure. But we spoke with Damian and he showed us round his boat, the Group Apicil earlier in the day. How are you this morning? You're looking good.
Yeah, I'm good this morning. A lot this night, so but it's okay. The wind is good and the boat is so fast, so it's perfect.
Give us a little bit of a tour of the inside of Group Apicil.
Okay, so inside of Group Apicil, It's a very large boat, so I have big space inside, and so my seat in front of is my table chart here, so I can sleep a bit and I can work the same place. Here is my big kitchen. Woo, wonderful! And behind me there is some space for all of everything. And here I can look outside of the boat, so you can see the weather is not very good today. It's raining and it's very grey outside, but I can see the sails, the sea, and if the boat is okay. The complete inside.
Very tidy, very neat.
So that's where I live.
And what were you reading, the magazine?
Yes, so for the moment I read, the idea is to France more intelligent than 2 months ago. That's why I read a lot.
And listen, you're having a great race against, you're close to Boris Herman today, only 9 or 10 miles away.
Yes, I'm close to Boris. We speak a lot together with WhatsApp, and we talk about the weather, the sails we have, the speed of the boat, and yes, I have a good feeling with Boris. He's a good friend.
And he has foils.
Yes, that's what he told me this morning. He's so sorry to be so close for me with the foiling boat, but you know, it's not easy to go very fast in this sea because there is big waves, and I think with my boat I don't have many questions. I just pull the sheet and go on, but with a foiling boat there is another big question, so it's not easy to go very fast.
So Damian, the next race, the same boat for you?
Well, we will see.
Good. Anyway, lovely to talk with you. Thank you so much, and we'll speak in a few days. Have a great day. So Kevin, Damian Sagan, what a star! I mean, he's having a great race. Do you know him well, or?
He's been working with Jean-Luc Ham as well, because the two boats have been in the same shade in Port-la-Forêt, and I think they've done, both of them, the same modification on the wreck of the mast, on the ballast inside, and how to save weight. And I think they've done a great job together, and they've got two very old, fast boats, and and they are also very good pushing hard on them.
And he said that he wants to come back from the end of this race more intelligent and learning more things than when he started, just like us and just like you. Kevin, thank you so much for having us, for joining us today. Marcus, thank you once again for joining us, and hopefully you'll have a lovely Christmas back home in Kinsale. And my regards to everyone there.
See you soon, Marcus.
Right. Ciao, ciao.
Bye.
So that's all we have time for today on our Vendée live show in English. Join us again tomorrow. Our guest tomorrow is Jean-Marie Doris, who is the or is the technical manager and the performance manager for Yannick Bestaven's Metrocoque. So if any questions for him, do post them on our internet site, indeed, or on Facebook, Twitter, or on Instagram, and join us tomorrow.